How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Chaos Child. We're still going through negative delusions, or at least searching for them, experiencing them, laughing at a few, cringing at the others, maybe not showing a reaction at all for maybe one or two. The point is that we're dealing with negative delusions and having to run through the game, skip through until we find a negative delusion that we have not experienced just yet. I feel like the negative delusions are going to kind of slow down solely because we're now in chapter 3, and the first two chapters have, I think, the most delusions. And now we're in chapter 4. Wow, you know, time just really flies by when you're having fun. It really does. I think we have a map trigger event or whatever coming up here in just a second. And I think I know how to properly do this since I've done it now a few times. So we should be good on that front. And I guess we just gotta choose whatever other negative delusions there are, except we gotta choose positive for a, I think the delusion in chapter 5 after they leave the hospital, I think is what the guide said. And then going on from there, we're just gonna choose the positive delusions. I think that's what we gotta do here. I'm just kind of waiting for the map trigger to come up here. I think I know what to do, but because it is a choice, and I always question myself and what I do in my life, and the decisions I make, I don't want to just straight up skip through it. I want to be able to show you guys that I know what I'm doing. I don't even need to know the context anymore. I just know the right choice. But anyways, on to the next negative delusion. And here it is, just like that. I know that we have not done negative here because we've done positive, and it's quite horny. So what will the negative delusion hold for us? Maybe Kirisu was feeling worried too. I was already a witness to one death, and now today I'd seen another. If they were all part of the same series of murders, then the killer hadn't been caught yet. So maybe I was in a pretty dangerous position. I was trying to find the killer, just like the police. It was possible that I'd gotten in too deep, and now the killer would come after me. And wait a minute, Kirisu was the vice president of the newspaper club and my sister, so maybe she was in danger too. It wasn't that long ago at all that she had been stabbed. They'd arrested the guy who attacked her, but I'd heard that he was practically insane. What if the real killer had sent him to stab Kirisu? What if the person who found my phone saw Kirisu's photos and phone number and now was after her? It is. I tried to tell myself that as I went inside the house, excuse me. But when I knocked on Kirisu's door, there was no answer. I thought she might be asleep and tried to open the door, but it was locked from the inside. I had seen the lights on from outside, so maybe she was sleeping with them on. Sometimes I do that. It's a bad habit. I didn't see Dad, Yui, or Yuto anywhere. The house was always so lively, but now it seemed eerily quiet. Why wasn't there anyone here? Where had they gone? Did they go get food and leave Kirisu here? But I looked at the time, and normally this would have been when Dad was closing up the hospital. The front door, that is, the door to the clinic itself, was still unlocked. All the lights were still on. I suddenly had a horrible thought, and I started thinking of even worse things. I decided to try calling Kirisu's cell phone from the line in the house. I heard the sound of a ringtone, and it was coming from Kirisu's room. She was asleep after all. Why would she call me here and then go to sleep? What the heck was she thinking? Oh, I don't think she's asleep, buddy.
That
was strange. I was pounding on the door and there was no response from inside. I had a bad premonition. There was no way. It wasn't possible, right? I tried to tell myself that everything was fine, but it wasn't working. I decided to kick down the door. I ran inside the room and gasped at what I saw. I think she's dead. The whole room was covered in red, 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 red. The walls, the bed, the carpets, the desk, and the stuffed animals. The room was covered in bright red blood everywhere you looked. The smell of blood was strong enough that I almost threw up, and I couldn't bring myself to take another step. Whose blood was this? And there was no sign of Kirisu in the room. She was gone. Not only were Dad, Yui, and Yuto missing, but so was Kirisu. She disappeared, leaving behind all this blood, leaving behind her smartphone. She disappeared without a trace. The door was locked from the inside. Even the windows were locked. The words "missing persons case" flashed through my mind. But I knew it was much worse than that. I fell to my knees and clasped my head to my hands. I knew that Dad, Yui, Yuto, and Kirisu too were never coming back. Damn. Now that's some negativity right there. That was just a daydream, but I couldn't say for sure that it wouldn't happen. The position I was in was just that dangerous. When I went inside, she was sitting on the bed waiting for me. Can we skip? Yep, we good. Alright, chapter 5. So this is the turning point chapter, I suppose. Or around there. What we apparently need to do here is we need to choose positive for the delusion that comes up after we've already left the hospital. I don't think there's any choices that we gotta make for delusions while we're in the hospital, so I think next would actually be a positive delusion. I really hated this part. It was creepy. Especially that woman, goddamn. Okay, delusion time. We're not gonna choose negative on this one because this is after we've left the hospital, and I think that's what we're supposed to do. I think we're supposed to choose positive here, and we should be good. And I think I have chosen positive here. Yeah, there's no way I didn't choose positive at this point because of, when we were going through and getting all the positive delusions, I had to have chosen positive here. And I think this is also something that I chose in my first run, so we're in the clear. And I just got an achievement unlocked, so I believe we're going into Uki's route. That said, and I think that was an image of Uki in the little achievement icon. So I think we're good to go. I guess we'll see what happens. So here we are, getting set on fire and all that. This has been somewhat of the turning point for the past two routes. So I'm crossing my fingers and I guess just waiting to see if this is also going to be the turning point for this route. I guess we'll see. Because if we run away, which I don't think is happening. No, we didn't run away. Okay, because in the past two routes, we kind of ran away mid-fight. But I guess not here. Interesting. So where will the turning point be? That is the actual mystery here, because it really was there the last two times, so I don't know where it's going to be this time around. Oh no. I gotta make correct choices again. The first victim in the Don't Look at Me case was able to get scoops, was famous for being able to predict the future, was said to be able to read clients' minds. It's the future one. Leaky noise, put those who heard her music into a trance. Yeah, that sounds about right. Revolving dead, he was able to read the client's minds, and boom, there we go. Alright. So he was a Niconia streamer, let's see, who was able to become famous, succeeded in business, became a popular vocalist, became a popular net reporter. So he became famous. Leaky noise, became a popular vocalist. And we're good. Hell yeah. I know the story so goddamn well. Wait a minute, there's more? The woman who attacked you, yeah, she was a pyrokinetic. She definitely was not a, shoot, what was the other one? She wasn't any of those others, I know that for a fact. She created fire with her fists. Oh hey, I remember this. I think somebody told me that I should have chosen positive for this. What happens if I choose positive for this? Like, we're set on Uki's route now, right? Like, we should be good. I kind of just want to choose positive for this, and I don't want there to be repercussions. So I am going to save it, just in case. Yeah, I mean, there's no negative here, so how can I choose negative if there's no negative? So something happens here by choosing to go... So there's a positive and a... Oh, nope, there's only a positive here. And I don't think I chose positive last time. I don't even remember what the context was here. The second I told it to stop, it changed its course as if a giant hand had come down and smashed it from above. I think it was like a rolling can or something. It fell to the ground with a huge clatter. The two girls leapt up at the sudden noise and then turned toward us. When they did, one of their skirts flew up. Huh? As the girls spun, she quickly put her hands down on her skirt. And then our eyes met.
Yada. Kimoi. Nani jiro-jiro miten no?
Oh, come on, dude. Can we skip? Nope.
違います。缶の音にびっくりしただけで、別に何も見てないというか、その。
But the two of them glared at me warily and then ran up the stairs. Why do I feel like we've gone through this before? What was that about? Even if it was my fault, I'd save them from danger. Did we? And from where I was sitting, I couldn't see anything.
なるほど。そうか。青だな。
God damn it, Ito. I guess he could, though.
いや、それよりもだ。
Can I skip? Yes, I can. So, wait, were there more delusions that came up here? There was one... Yeah, Serika came in. Alright, here we go. And do we have a positive and negative? No, we only have a positive.
予想通り、純白フリルだったか。
So I guess we'll just go further with it. Trying to hide Serika from his gaze, I imagined something else. This time it was the bottle coming to a dead stop in Serika's hands. What is happening? I ended up saying something weird, but this time I used my full powers to stop her. But then...
みんなここにいたのね。
Uh-oh.
っていうか、何してんのセリー。
Wait, why is everyone here all of a sudden? This did not happen last time. Kirisu, Arimura, and Kazuki were all coming down the stairs. I became totally distracted. And instead of the bottle coming to a stop, I imagined something entirely different. It was probably because I'd imagined what Ito had just witnessed. But I ended up thinking about a naughty article I just read in Cool Cat Press. Of course, every episode has to incorporate Cool Cat Press. Somehow. How to take the girl you want to bed, tell from her underwear whether she's up for it tonight. Of course. I remembered saying if the girl's showing you her underwear, of course she's up for it, but all the girls were wearing different kinds of underwear. After taking a moment to appreciate from an academic standpoint, the variety of underwear on offer, I started trying to guess what kind of underwear Serika would pick, or maybe Kirisu. No, don't be stupid. But the more I tried to stop it, the stronger the strange vision became. And suddenly I heard the sound of my destruction. Uh-oh. There was a small rustling sound as Arimura's skirt slowly but surely and steadily started to rise. It went up past her knee socks and then higher and higher. Bro, this is like that one delusion that we had with Arimura's route. Arimura stood there for a moment in shock and then realized what was going on and grabbed her skirt from above. Kirisu and Kazuki were looking at her with wide open eyes. There's more, dude? Bro, what is happening here? I mean, fuck, I guess. Shit. This wasn't good. Sarika would probably laugh and forgive me. Actually, she might not even realize what had happened. Oh, I doubt it. After everything that we've gone through with the common route, I strongly believe that she knows what's going on. But I wouldn't be that lucky with Arimura. Any second now she was going to realize it was because of my power. I gulped. Let's make things worse. The Empress, now fully recovered, was standing next to her. If she figured out what I'd done, who knew what would happen? Hell yeah, boys, let's make things worse.
何今の風?
Yeah, it was the wind. It was the wind's fault, not mine. So I didn't do anything, and it's not my fault. Ha 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 ha.
ってことにするしかない。
I quickly tried to come up with a new delusion, and then transmitted it into everyone's brains.
よし。
I used my power to softly open a nearby window, and nobody noticed. It worked. It was as if it had been open the whole time, excuse me. All that was left was for the wind to blow through the window, and I should be able to fool them. Come to think of it, this power of mine is amazing.
Huh? What?
A soft breeze, just strong enough to barely move your hair, rubbed against my cheek. The wind was weak. It was super weak. Oh my god, dude. How much of this shit is there? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, we'll keep pushing. It'll probably be our demise, but we'll keep pushing. No one else's skirt, neither Kirisu's nor Kazuki's or Sarika's, was moving at all. Arimura alone had turned beet red, grabbed the hem of her skirt, and started looking frantically around. The gap between her behavior and how she normally acted was cute enough that I couldn't help but stare. Wait, no! There was no physical reason for Arimura's uniform to be the only one to rise up like that. This wasn't going to fool them at all.
そうだ。
Could my power maybe cause air to convect? If it could, there was still hope. I could just create the wind. Yeah, that'll work. Let's just make things worse. I came up with a new delusion and hit everyone around me with it.
とにかく一発でいい。激しい風を頼む。
Imagine a strong wind blowing. Imagine the air moving violently, creating a gust of wind. Bro, we're gonna create a freaking tornado at this rate. Uh-oh. And then suddenly, Kirisu's skirt flew up as well.
よし、いった。女帝がまさかのピンクストライプ。クルスにこんな可愛い趣味があったなんて。
Now it was Kazuki's turn. The hem of her skirt suddenly flew up.
パンツまで演習のキャラグッズかよ。
What?
もう少しおしゃれに気を使え。
Bro, this is like the horniest event in the entire game. Next was Sarika, and then Arimura's skirt flew up again as well. Actually, it really isn't. Just the way that their expressions are, it's just, what the fuck. It was a success.
驚いたな。なんてすごい風だ。
Yeah, what a natural occurrence in Mother Nature. I ran my fingers through my hair and whispered to myself. I was worried there for a moment, but I just barely managed to...
Huh?
Another soft breeze, just enough to tickle your eyebrow, brushed my cheek. Why is the wind so weak? It's too weak. But I could see the girl's white thighs in front of me, and a more tantalizing sight above them.
そうじゃない。僕はスカートをめくりたいわけじゃなくて。
Well, no. As a healthy schoolboy, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little interested. In fact, I wanted to make sure I got a good look so I could remember it later. Wait, why do I have to be so honest? I screamed at my power to stop.
やだもうなんか変な風てか本当に風なんですかこれ
Bro, we need to like run away. The girls were clearly suspicious now and were holding down the skirts with both hands.
おい宮代、バレるんじゃないか?
Yes. Ito stood up from the bench and started to move backward, afraid. Specifically afraid of Kirisu. And to make matters worse, one of the groups of girls that had been talking in the cafeteria was starting to move closer to us. They'd probably run out of things to talk about and decided to go home, and now they were looking at us in shock, excuse me. Oh my god, there's more. There's actually more. Fuck it. This was way too suspicious. They might think that the girls were lifting up their skirts to show us. If that happened, the whole school might think the newspaper club were a bunch of perverts.
どうするもう一回やってみるか
Hey, it's just more reason to shut them down. As I hesitated, I could hear the group of girls start to whisper.
何今のなんかおかしくねつーかさあれ生徒会長やだどうしたんだろうね
I have a bad feeling about this.
やってやる
I focused on my mind to its utmost. I just needed the wind to blow the way I want it. If the wind blows up their skirts too, I can fix this misunderstanding. I can avoid any weird rumors. You know that, right? I'm just gonna check. Don't just lift up the skirts because I want to see their panties. Wind blows, skirts fly up. Don't get the order mixed up. With an explosion of mental force, I sent the vision from my brain to the others. And that did it, finally. A gust of wind blew through the open window. The girl's hair started to fly up.
ダメか
But the wind still wasn't strong enough. It wasn't enough to blow up their skirts.
それな
I'll add my power to the strength of the wind. Bro, Takuru is just on it, man. Now those girls' skirts flew up just like Kirisu and the others had.
さらにこうだ くらえもう一つ
Like, what are Ito and Takuru just like doing right now? Like, where are their eyes staring? For some reason, the sound was different with the last girl.
今の風何だよ窓開けっぱなしじゃんつーかなんかあいつに見られたし
Uh-oh. The girls quickly pressed down on their skirts.
最悪今日のパンツいけてないのにそういう問題じゃないよ
いいえ僕見てないです風にびっくりしていて
As I whispered excuses, I saw the girl in the back fidgeting. Wasn't that the girl who made a slightly different sound?
んどうしたなんか急にね裏のホックが外れた
Huh?
何を
Damn, Takuru, you got them powers. The hook on her bra. What the hell? What the hell kind of wind does that? What is wrong with my power? No, I mean, I did kind of think she had big boobs, but just a little. I suddenly felt a murderous energy and looked up in shock, and my eyes locked with Kirisu, who was looking down upon me with her arms crossed. Arimura and Kazuki had their arms crossed too, and the same cold expressions on their face. Sarika was the only one who didn't seem to know what had happened. She was looking between me and the others, confused.
Ito? What? Ito?
Bro, he freaking dashed. I turned around in search of my best friend, but there was no one there. Instead, I could see a single shadow outside the window racing away toward the setting sun.
Ito!
Well, we're dead. Roll the credits. 30 minutes later.
Domo! Sumimasen deshita!
Ito was kneeling on the floor, surrounded by the girls. After 30 minutes of a newspaper club inquisition, it was decided that Ito was at fault. I'd done some things that weren't very good either, but in the end I'd managed to make them understand that they were mistakes.
本当にもう二度とこんなことしちゃダメよ、伊藤くん。
深く反省しました。もう絶対にいたしません。
Ito bowed so low his face touched the floor. That's right, get madder. That's what you get for putting me through that.
だいたいタクルを変な風に乗せないで。おだてられるとすぐこういうことしちゃうのよ、お調子者だから。そうですよ、宮代先輩って真面目そうな顔して実はエロ妄想全開ですし。
It is true, actually.
エッチな本とか結構隠してるもんね。
What?
タクル、それ本当？そういうの感心しないって言わなかった？
違う、おのえの誤解だ。僕はそんな本ってなんでいつの間にか僕が責められてるんだよ。お前もそんな目で見るな。
とにかくいい二人とも以後絶対に能力をおかしなことに使わない、使わせない、約束よ。
了解しました。
いやだから僕は最初からそんなつもりじゃなかった。
Uh-oh.
約束よ。
はい。
Ito bowed low on the floor again, and I did too. Well, we're not dead, which I think is good. That's a good takeaway here. Time to skip on forward. I really hope that didn't screw us over by choosing positive on all that. It's just I didn't do that before, and I really wanted to see like what I missed out on, because I was kind of told that there was really no repercussions from choosing positives. So whatever. I'm starting to really wonder when the route is gonna kick in or whatever, because we're now here in chapter 8. We're chilling in the betrayal chapter. You know, when Ito just straight up kills our little sister, which is always fun. That's gonna be great to relive if we actually have to deal with that. I don't really know when things are gonna change and go into a different direction. I hope it's before that occurs. I really do. And now I have to make a choice. The woman who I saw was the one who attacked us before. That is that. And she was a... Come on, like... Wait. She had a different power than pyrokinesis. Could tell if I was lying, read my mind, shared embarrassing secrets, showed me a delusion of being alone. Broke things in the cafe without touching... It's this one. Yeah, that event was totally, like... It had to have been using Uki's power. What's going on here? So we were arguing... Weren't the vice president and Arimura arguing about something? What was that about again? Nono said she didn't believe in psychic powers. Nono said she didn't believe Senri was the killer. Nono got mad that Hina was using her powers too much. Nono said we should let the police find the killer. I actually don't remember what this was. Maybe it was this? Yeah, I guess so. What Arimura said was a lie. It was a lie that she... Yeah, it was this one. Damn, I'm so good at this. Let me feel good about myself for once, guys. Whenever we're doing these, like, things, just let me feel good about myself. And then it was this. And there we go. We good. At this rate, she's gonna die again. I can't wait for that. I really hope that we could, go into a different route before that occurs. Or, you know, we just not let that occur at all. That'd be nice. Well, at this pace, guys, we're heading straight into the direction of Ito killing and going crazy and all that. That's so... Man, this sucks. This really just straight up sucks. I don't really... When is this shit supposed to diverge? Come on. I really didn't want to have to, like, relive through this. Even so, I'm not going at the correct pace here. I'm just skipping through. But still, like, seeing the events lead up to it, and then the event actually occurring, Come on, dude. I don't want that. I really don't. Oh, no. Oh, no, dude. The divergence is during this scene. So we've already seen her chopped up. We've noticed that, and we have already seen a little bit of a craziness out of Ito. Okay, let's get going, I guess. That's why I didn't notice the tiny girl standing behind me, or behind me standing there and shaking. If I had, I might have been able to stop her, but... Why is Uki here? Why did Uki come here? And why is she loud? Oh shit. The tiny little girl tried to run between me and Ito, splashing blood everywhere as she ran through the puddles on the ground. She was holding a sword that was far too big for her, but it was probably the coolest one out of them all, let's be real. The girl, Yamazoe Uki, tried to use the D-sword to slice Ito in half. I didn't know whether she'd lost control of herself after seeing Yui, or if she was trying to protect me, but I still believed in my best friend. Ito wouldn't betray me, he wouldn't do this. This had to be some kind of mistake. So... Oh, is Ito dead? Something with a metallic taste rose up in my throat, which was still burning from the stomach acid when I thrown up a moment ago. The metallic taste filled my mouth, and when I tried to spit it out, I sprayed a shower of red vomit everywhere. What happened just now? Are we dead? I thought I could hear Yamazoe screaming, but her voice seemed far away, excuse me, as if my ears were plugged up. It was like it was echoing from another dimension. And then I realized that I was lying face down in a pool of my own blood. Oh no. Okay, so I was told to choose positive here. We have to go in a positive direction going forward, because technically we're in the route, we just haven't gotten the title card for the route, right? So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna try and organize things a little bit better. I'll save this here because, oh yeah, it even says Uki chapter like right there, so, you know, here we go. Man, it hurts. There's so much blood in my mouth, I can't breathe. I tried to get up and breathe, but my body wasn't moving. But what, like what happened to us? Did we just get in the way of her blade or some shit? Oh, here we go. Well, this is a positive delusion. Not exactly sure why Serika and Kirisu are here. I'm pretty sure Kirisu hasn't gotten here yet. Instead, it was Uki. Everything started to fade away, and then for a moment, it all came back. I could see Kirisu and Serika holding me. Yamazoe was clinging to me too, and crying like a little girl. I was terrified of dying, to be honest, but at least I wouldn't die a sad, lonely death. There were people crying for me. I'd always felt sorry for myself, and I'd never realized how blessed I was. Bye-bye. And then everything went black, and the moment approached for me to cross the boundary between life and death. Sorry for the barking that you may hear in the background. Alright, here we go. Butterfly, an unconscious erosion of self-indulgent kindness? Is that what that said?
ねえってば。こんなところで寝ると風邪ひくわよ。タクルに起きなよ。
The first things I saw when I opened my eyes were the grain of the wooden table and my drool spilling all over it. I raised my head and looked around. This can't be real. This can't be real. Everyone was looking at me as I sat spaced out in a chair at the dining room table.
Yui!
Unless we got sent back in time. I leaped up, grabbed Yui by her tiny little shoulders, and shook her. Of course, I could touch her body and it was warm. She wasn't a ghost.
Yui, お前、なんで生きてんだ?
やめてタクルに。ちょっとタク？よしなさいってば。一体どうしたの？
どうしたって、ユイが殺されたんだ。
はあ？私生きてるよ。ほら。
でも伊藤がナイフで。
犯人俺かよ。
Ito glared at me, clearly annoyed.
勘弁してくれ。いくら寝ぼけてるったって悪趣味だぞお前。
寝ぼけって。
If this isn't a delusion, or maybe it is, could this be related to Uki's power? Could something have happened that changed events that occurred? I let go of Yui's shoulders and took another look at my little sister. There were no cuts on her pure white skin, and there was no blood on her clothes.
もしかして、夢？
当たり前だろ。
どうして私が殺されなくちゃいけないの？
It was so real, though. I could even smell the blood and guts. I could still remember the pain of being cut by the D-sword. I closed my eyes tight and ran my fingers along my temples. And then I opened my eyes again slowly. Everything was fine. That nightmare was nowhere to be seen. I don't know if we can rest easy yet, to be honest. I leaned back into the chair.
そうだよな。伊藤がユイを殺す理由なんて。
For a moment, the name Minamisawa Senri flashed through my mind, but I quickly shook my head to drive it away. The idea that Ito knew Senri and was after revenge was just a delusion. There was no reason to think it was real. Yeah, that'd be nice if it was all a delusion.
びっくりだよ。みんな緊張して時間が過ぎるのを待ってたのに。宮代先輩だけ居眠りしてるんだから。
そっか。悪かったな。
いろんなことがあったから疲れてるのよ。変な夢もそのせいだと思うわ。お父さんに見てもらう？
Oh, I'm good. Please keep him away from me.
いや、いい。 もう大丈夫。
I realized that there was a thick sheen of sweat on my forehead and wiped it away with my sleeve.
それより今何時だ？事件は？
Ito shrugged and shook his head.
午前0時なんてとうに過ぎたよ。何も起きてない。
何も？
I looked at the clock and saw that it was a new day.
ああ、これで間違いない。事件は全て終わったんだ。
タクル？
でも新庄さんからの電話だと。
That's right, there'd been a murder on the 23rd too, which meant that the return of the new generation madness was still continuing.
新庄さんの電話って？
何のことだ？
Everyone seemed surprised. I took the smartphone out of my pocket, and I checked the call history. It was gone. Damn, no one calls us. Shinjo had never called.
あの電話も夢だったのか。
I sighed again and sat back in the chair. All the strength drained from my body. I see. So the return of the new generation madness really was over.
ねえタク、本当に平気？やっぱり見てもらった方が。
No, we're fine.
だから大丈夫だって。クルスが言った通り疲れてるだけだからって。顔が近い。
I could tell she was worried, but Serica's face was just too close to me. I pushed it away. And then I realized
山添は？
I couldn't see her anywhere. I remembered how her face had been twisted with despair when she'd attacked Ito in my dream. Even if I knew it wasn't real, I was still worried.
ウキちゃん？ウキちゃんなら今、佐久間先生に呼ばれてお手伝いを。
I don't like the sound of that.
宮代さん、何か？
Oh, she's good. She must have just finished because she peeked through the door at exactly that moment. She was tiny and frail, but a lot more cheerful than she'd been before. There was nothing particularly out of the ordinary about her. I was relieved.
あ、いや、別に。
そうですか。皆さん何か飲み物はいかがですか？あ、私グレープフルーツジュースがいいな。
俺はコーヒー。
オレンジジュース。宮代さんはいつものでいいですか？
Bro, I can't.
マウンテン、何でしたっけ？
Oh, it's definitely not Mountain Dew. It's Mountain View.
ちょっとダメよみんな。ウキちゃんはメイドじゃないんだから。我が家はセルフサービスです。
I was gonna say, I don't think I can just relax just yet, man. Like, we were just in one of the worst scenes, one of the most tragic scenes that this game has offered. And now we're back into a spot where everything seems as if nothing has gone wrong and nothing will probably go wrong. Something happened, and I'm pretty sure it's related to Uki.
いえ、いいんです。私がやりたいんですから。
Yamazoe went around and asked everyone what they wanted, then went to the kitchen. There was nothing different about her at all. Before long, I could hear the tea kettle bubbling cheerfully in the kitchen. Several days passed. Holy shit. Okay, well, this isn't just some simple delusion. I'll tell you that much. In the end, nothing happened on October 28th. The return of the new generation madness had ended with the death of the woman responsible. She'd realized that she couldn't escape the police and set herself on fire. That's what everyone from the TV media to the internet was saying.
けどそれって事実なのか?
Something didn't seem right. This is the sort of thing that usually drove the people I despised most on the internet, the wrong-siders who pretended to be right-siders, into an uproar. I didn't mind the ones who made aggregator pages filled with their own personal theories, but some of them would always try to connect everything to the most ridiculous conspiracy theories. And the worst were the ones who would post information about the killer, and not just the killer herself, but her family and relatives too, and say all kinds of terrible, unfounded things about them.
でも
But this time, that hadn't happened. No information was available at all except for what was in the police announcement, It was as if someone was censoring everything. And not only the students at the school and the people of Shibuya, but even the guys on that channel were already losing interest and starting to talk about other things. Even if there were a lot of things competing for people's attention these days. That's a nice,
いくらなんでも早すぎないか
That's a nice sum up of things that occurred. But everyone was already starting to talk about a new event. The Shibuya Restoration Festival was coming soon.
ちょっとタクル
あ
As I stared at the map, I suddenly heard a bone-chilling voice from behind me. Terrified, I turned around. Kitasu was standing there, eyebrows raised.
何を考えてるのかしら
何ってその
まさか事件のことじゃないわよね。もう解決したんだから、あとは専門家に任せなさいって言ったはずだけど。
いや僕だってこの事件に関しては専門家
これ以上首を突っ込むようならわかってるわよね。
はい
Damn, she's angry. Her face was as terrifying as any creature from my worst nightmares. Well, I knew why she was so mad. She was really worried about me. And I knew that after what happened to her friend Minamisawa Senri, she was probably crying when she was alone.
けどもうちょっと優しく言ってくれたってな
このくらい叱らないと言うこと聞かないでしょあなたは。
How could she tell what I was thinking? Was she a psychic too? Yes.
何度も言わせないで。タクルの考えてることなんてお見通し。顔にすぐ出るもの。
あそうですか
とにかくそのマップ処分させてもらうわ。邪魔で仕方ないし。
No, it isn't. Nothing was up on that board previously. Kitasu put a hand up on the map, or to the map on the board to rip it off.
お手伝いします。
Why is Uki here? Uki had been standing in the corner of the room, staring in wonder at everything she saw. She quickly dashed over to Kitasu.
助かるわウキちゃん。そっち側持っててくれる？はい。
They ripped down the map I'd spent so many hours on and folded it up neatly.
あ
何？
いやその
文句があるなら正当な理由を納得できるように述べて。
いえ何でもないですすみません
タクは相変わらず弱いね。情けないね。ヘタレだね。
What the fuck, dude?
本当です。がっかりです。幻滅です。
Harimura was occupying a corner of the big table and she read a brainless fashion magazine. And Kazuki was at her computer playing ESO2, like always.
僕が弱いんじゃないからなクルスが強すぎるんだからな
タクルってばよっぽど私に怒られるのが好きなのね。
そんなことないですすみません
I shrank back and averted my eyes from the Empress. As for why Harimura and Yamazoe were here, they'd both joined the newspaper club as of today. What the fuck? Uki isn't even enrolled here. Yamazoe wasn't a student at Hekiho until now, but after the case was solved, she'd been allowed to enroll at the academy's middle school. Oh, okay. I'll roll with that.
Is...
おお
Ito came into the room and walked over to me, eyes shining. He motioned for me to lean in.
なんだよ。部室の中の女子率が超高え。つうか宮代が邪魔。
邪魔で悪かったな。
なんか部屋全体がすげえいい匂いするし、新聞部とは思えねえ。
全国の新聞部の皆さんに謝れ。
俺にもついに彼女とかできそうな気がするよ。
間違いなく気のせいだぞそれ。
なになに、こそこそ何の話してるの？
Sarika put down her magazine and looked at us.
ああ、次の新聞は何をトップ記事にしようかって相談だ。
ダウト。伊藤先輩は嘘をついています。
そんなことないぞ。なあ宮代。
Now don't rope us into it.
無駄だ。
ひなちゃんに嘘ついてもバレバレだよ。
うわ、俺って学習能力ねえ。
You really don't, Ito. You really don't.
先輩たちってばひどい。私をネタにしてやらしい話をしてたんですね。
それはしてない。
またまた嘘ついてます。やっぱり私を使ってあんな想像やこんな妄想を。
Arimita covered her chest and thighs with her hands. She's the one who's
ちょっ
lying.
とタクル、伊藤くん。
Damn, we're just in the doghouse for this session. Things have just been not going our way. I quickly ran over to Arimita.
お前誤解を招くようなこと言うな。クルスが本気で切れたら何されるかわからないだろ。
思いっきり聞こえてるわよ。
See, look how she's glaring at me. Well, that's our fault. I scowled at Arimita, and she giggled.
前から思ってたんですけど、宮代先輩とクルス先輩ってなんか。何？夫婦みたいですね。は
あ？ Uh-oh. Both Kitazu and I turned to her in shock.
恐ろしい妻のご機嫌を気にしていつもビクビクしてるダメな夫って感じで。誰が恐ろしい妻なの？
妙なこと口走るのやめろ。恐ろしいの部分は同意するが。
And now we're dead. She punched me. She punched me right in the stomach.
うわ、痛そう。
Kazuki pointed to the screen as I writhed on the ground, holding my stomach. Ouch.
お前までなんだよ。
And then, I heard a tiny laugh. I looked around in surprise. She was laughing. She wasn't very loud, but Uki was laughing happily. Everyone looked at her in surprise.
すみません。
Yamazoe realized that everyone was looking at her, and her face suddenly turned bright red.
ほら、もっと笑って笑って。ウキちゃん、いつもそうやって笑顔でいるといいわ。かわいい。
Maybe she'd never heard that before. She didn't seem to know what to do.
ゴミを捨てに行ってきます。
She grabbed the garbage can, which wasn't particularly full, and ran out into the hallway. Everyone smiled as we watched her go.
あれは卑怯だ。不良少年がちょっといいことするとすげえいい人に見えるのと同じだ。騙されちゃいけないですよ、先輩。
いや、山添は騙そうと思ってるわけじゃないからな。
このままだと新聞部のアイドルの座が危ない。新聞部のアイドルは私だよ。 簡単にこの座は明け渡さないから。ほほー、いいでしょう。勝負です、セリ。望むところだ。
いや、お前らさ。
My head started to hurt. Yamazoe was one thing, but maybe letting Arimura join had been a mistake. With the case finished, the newspaper club was finally about to get back to work again. But at this rate, we wouldn't even be able to get through a planning meeting. Again, I just can't relax here. I really can't relax here. Something just doesn't feel right. And hopefully we get an idea as to what doesn't feel right in the next episode. So thank you guys for watching. I think I got to an hour with this one. Or just about. Again, because of all the skipping around, I don't really know how long this episode is going to be. But no, at least we're finally getting into that plot progression. At least I think. Guess we'll see what happens in the next episode, and fuck, man, I don't know, I'm kind of confused. I'm really lost. Which I think is the intention, so we'll see what happens next. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy.